What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be showing you Tyler's Spike 2-dot deck that he played for the Champs versus the World Campus Championship. If you like this profile, make sure you let Tyler know down in the comments down below, as well as check out all of the other profiles that we have here out on the channel, as well as the matches that we played for this campus championship. This was a fun one, and we would absolutely love for you to see. With that out of the way, let's jump into the profile. All right, so Spike 2. If you haven't seen one of my deck profiles, basically what we're going to be talking about is, as opposed to just reading off the cards verbatim and telling you what the cards say, we're going to tell you more about how the deck wants to work. So how does Spike 2 want to work? Spike is one of the most, or can be one of the most aggressive decks in the game because of his enhanced price per turn. After this deck resolves, discard it from the card pool. So I keep my progressive incredibly low, as well as I can commit, give an attack multiple one, and feed the momentum out of my staging area, depending on if the attack has the tech keyword. So let's go ahead and just jump into the profile, and you'll see what I mean. So the first attack that I want to talk about, one of the aggressive attacks in the game, is Space Salvo. This guy looks very small, but in fact he is a really good setup card. It says it's a 3 mid for 3, but it's actually a 3 mid for 5 because of Space Salvo's ability. Whenever you use Spike's Enhance and it kicks from the card pool, my next attack is going to get 2 speed and 1 damage. Remember, guys, damage isn't what kills people, speed is. And so 9 times out of 10, my opponent's not going to waste a block on a Space Salvo because it's only 5 damage, and we're afraid of the things that are coming later on in the turn. This is a really good setup piece, and it almost always guarantees 5 damage happens. Unless my opponent has some sort of disruption play that they can do in order to stop that next thing from happening, this is an attack that is for sure going to be ignored. A beautiful poke. Another big aggressive card is Ace Maneuvers. This is one of the best cards in Spike's kit, and it gets plus damage for each card that has left the card pool this turn. And so basically what we do here as Spike is we kick as many cards as possible, and then with Ace Maneuvers we do more. And so if just using Spike's clear, this thing gets plus 4 damage, not to mention any other clearing that we can do with him with inside of the deck. Up next, we're playing double M3C Devastator Plasma Cannon. This card says that, first off, it's 9 damage for like almost no reason. It's a 9 damage attack, and if it leaves the card pool during the combat phase, already my character. So the play is you play the MC3. They're not allowed to interact with enhances, or else they just lose 2 vitality off of the response. You enhance on Spike, it'll kick from the card pool. You use Spike, grab yourself a momentum, and then multiple out. After the attack resolves and they've blocked or whatever their 9 high damage attack, this thing leaves the card pool, and then Spike readies back up because of the static on top of the MC3. So just a really good solo play. Just throws 18 damage onto the board. Just really solid stuff. Not to mention we can kick the face down as well. And so we've had 2 4 high for 9s, and then I play an Ace Maneuver on a cleared card pool as a 5 high for 8. If I have any other Ace Maneuvers, this is just a bread and butter. You better have 6 or 7 high blocks in your hand, or else I'm just going to murder you. Same type of play we can do with a Swordfish Plasma Cannon. This card's a little weaker than the Devastator Plasma Cannon, but it can hit just as hard depending on if everything goes right. It itself can gain multiple 1 off of Spike. It has multiple 1 already, so it can be multiple 1, and the copies gain +2/+2 if I've kicked a card out of my card pool, which is probably what's going to have happened with Spike. And so we have 3 6 high for 6s coming in. Pretty strong stuff. Pretty strong stuff. Up next, we got some of the new cards. Double Barrage Ultra. This is out of the Bakugo starter deck set. Enhance, if you've discarded a card from my card pool this turn, this attack gets 1 speed and 3 damage. And so it's a 5 low for 8. Look, it's like the exact opposite of the Ace Maneuvers. This is a 5 high for 8. This is a 5 low for 8. And I only have to have had discarded 1 card out of the card pool for this one. Really solid ability, especially if we use something along the lines of Space Salvo before it. This card hits like a truck in our deck. Our last aggressive card is for Vengeance of the Fallen Angel, and the reason it's this aggressive card is because we get to use the Spike first enhance. If my character's name is Spike 1 dot or 2 dot, players can't play abilities for the rest of the turn, and then it is unblockable. Remove it after it resolves. So the way that we play our turn is we play something along the lines of Space Salvo into Space Salvo. I play both of these attacks, and I clear them both with Spikes. So now that my card pool is clear, I'll then play the Vengeance. It's got a little bit of a speed bonus because of the Space Salvo stuff. I first enhance on it, and then I've hit you with 3 things, one of which was for sure unblockable. And the 6 def is not easy to pass, but whenever I've played a couple attacks and then my card pool's clear, it's totally fun. And so I want to, this is just a really fun ending attack in order to make sure I can build out maybe 1 or 2 foundations and then hold 1 or 2 blocks depending. Making sure I get them into the danger zone. And then my last card is a flow card. It is double explosive brace. Just discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards. We want to see as many attacks as possible in our hand without checking poorly. And so this is just a bit of a consistency card. And I can just discard it after I'm done anyways. Who cares? Up next, we're on to the actions and assets. We're playing for Tagore Brothers. This card says that after my opponent attempts to play something cheeky inside of the staging area, I negate and destroy it. A bit of a disruption. I don't want them to play this cool thing, and so I'm going to get rid of it. And most importantly, it's either it can clear the card pool, which works off of cards like Ace Maneuvers, or if I need to, I can just draw an additional card and be content with it. This card is incredibly, incredibly strong, and it should be played in pretty much everything. Up next, we're playing one Nirvana. This card just readies up a card, and as Spike being so aggressive, we want to ready as many things as possible, as well as a bit of disruption or flow, depending on how you use it. After my opponent plays an ability, I'll stop it. So no breakers, no multiples, no powerfuls, no EXs. I'll just, hey, please don't do that. Or more importantly, no reversals, right? Spike can easily die to a reversal because we're not playing a ton of defense. A lot of this is mainly I just want to attack you with a bunch of cool cards. Up next, we're playing one Swordfish 2. This just aborts an attack, whether it be my attack or your attack. Both can be useful depending on the situation. I'll just toss this guy into my momentum, and then I'll put your attack into your momentum. Yeah, we're trading one resource for another, but you probably wanted that thing to do damage or gain you value now, and I want it to gain me value later. On to the foundations. The only aggressive foundation that we're playing is actually Finding What's Lost. This card is incredibly, incredibly strong inside of Spike, and it says essentially +4 damage based on the turn. We don't have very much to discard other cards inside of our card pool, so it gets +2 damage as a max 9 times out of 10, but +2 damage, I mean, if I've got 2 Finding What's Lost, it's 8 damage just sitting on my board, and it can be applied whenever I want it to. Pretty solid. This is a guaranteed staple inside of any Spike 2 deck. Like, you have to play 4 of this card. There's no reason not to. Up next, we're playing 4 the Hunt for Spiders and Dragons. I guess we could consider this an aggressive card too, just because of how it's played. It wants to be played as quickly as possible, and it always wants to be used for the response. 9 times out of 10, it will not be flipped for the gain 2 or burn 2. It's just, I want to build an additional foundation, and it's a face-down foundation, and so I don't feel bad eating it with Spike for another multiple. So I can turn this face-down resource into disrupting one of my opponent's resources and then multiplying it out. Up next for flow and consistency, we're playing a triple New Empress of Netherrealms. As I said, we need to draw attacks and just pay 3 of our 28 vitality, draw an additional attack. Oh, look, it was a Devastator Cannon. I'll slam it down and then try and kill you with it. Super, super good. We're playing, triple Prideful Personality for the same reason we're playing the Explosive Brace, discard 2, draw 2. It does feel really bad whenever this card gets negated, or even worse, negated and destroyed with something like Tagore Brothers, but it is worth the risk to try and find these attacks without checking poorly. Next, onto the defense, we are playing 3 Keiko's 8. I guess this is a bit of disruption now that I think about it. After my opponent, after I block something, after I do really good at defense, it is harder for my opponent to play cards. So a bit of disruption can keep me alive. 28 is a lot, but if I'm not doing anything to defend that, 28 is easy to count to. Now to defense proper. Double Kieran Soul. This card says -1 speed, and if I block it, it deals no damage. It is worth not having the no block because I can block with literally anything and then kick it. We're playing triple Conquest of Terror. I have to be able to block things. Tyler is all about, I want to be able to block when I need to block, and so he loves playing Speed Hate. So we're playing triple Conquest as Speed Hate. We're playing triple Guardian of the Spirit Sword as Speed Hate. 9 times out of 10, we will not be picking up any assets with this card. We are playing triple Unpredictable Movement as Speed Hate, just commit -2 speed. So I have -2 speed on Conquest of Terror. I've got -2 or 3 speed on the Guardian Spirit Sword, and another -2 speed on Unpredictable Movement, as well as a free low block on Double Nightmare Tears. If I were to attempt to block with it out of my hand, the block is put to 0. And the last card we're playing a bit of disruption is the Dark Side of Karma. After my opponent plays an enhanced ability on a non-character, non-weapon thing, I'm going to negate it. I don't want them to do cool things. One of the easiest ways to stop Spike is to use the Enhance on Bang, and this card just says that they're not allowed to do that. All right, sir, there you have it. There's Tyler's Spike 2 deck that he played for the Champs versus the World Campus Championship. If you liked it, like I said at the top, make sure you check out all the profiles, you check out all the matches, or join us live at twitch.tv/TCG University, Tuesdays at 6 o'clock, as we play these matches live for you. Interact with us in the chat. We would love to hang out with you. And then lastly, if you want to go out and support us, go to patreon.com/TCG University. Sub out there at the $1 level, get access to our Discord, and toss me a couple of Spike 2 lists. I would love to sit down and conversate with you about him. So, from all of us here at TCG University, thank you very much for watching, and stay